Okay, we're chugging right along. We're going to include some other functions that can be used as parent functions that have different shapes than we've had before. We're trying to build our repository of interesting shapes so that we can make cool pictures. Let's start with the absolute value function. We saw that a little bit earlier, but one thing to notice is that in Desmos you can either write ABS for absolute value or this vertical bar x vertical bar. They both are exactly the same function. They're exactly the same. Let's say we wanted to understand what's happening in an absolute value function. One thing you could do is you could think of the absolute value function as taking everything that's below the axis. Here's y is equal to x, this red line, and it's taking and reflecting it above the x-axis. So everything here below the x-axis gets flipped above the x-axis here onto this green line. So we've taken this red line, applied the absolute value, and it flips everything up on top of the x-axis. Okay, so let's see what that looks like if we change what our function is. So here's another example of a function. Y is equal to x cubed minus x. What's that going to look like if we flip everything that's below the x-axis above the x-axis? Okay, it's going to take this bump, put it up here. This line is going to go straight up. So if we flip it, we get this shape. Okay, so using the absolute value function can give us some new and interesting modifications to our two existing functions. Okay, next. Here are some trigonometric functions. We are going to be talking more about them in the second part of the class, but let's just put them out there so that everybody can see them and decide if they want to use them. They're kind of fun to play with, so I wanted to make sure everybody had them in your repository of possible shapes. So we'll be talking about those more later, but useful to have. We also have the other trig functions. Y is equal to cotangent of x, y is equal to cosecant of x, and y is equal to secant of x. If you like any of these shapes and you want to use them, go ahead, try something new. All right, let's go to the next one. Step functions. Now these functions are different from all the other ones that we've had because they have these jumps. You see here, this is called the sine function, not to be confused with the sine function on the previous page. That's very confusing, but this one is the SIGN function. And it's -1 if the number is 0, and +1 if the number is positive. So this function gives you a one jump up from -1 up to +1. Okay, but there's another one that's even more crazy than that, which is called the floor function. The floor function is what happens when you take a number that's a decimal, like 1.3, and you get rid of all of the numbers after the decimal. So the floor function of 1.3 is 1 because we got rid of the 0.3. The floor of 32.5 is 32 because we got rid of the decimal. Floor of -1.5, let me put that in here. Floor of -1.5 is -2. I'm going to put that in here, -1.5, comma, floor of 1.5. You can see this point right here. When you're at -1.5, it goes down to the next integer. So in this case, it's not exactly getting rid of the 0.5. We don't get the -1. Instead, what happens is it goes down to the next integer. And you can kind of think of that up here too. Let's say you had 1.3, you go down, you take the floor of that 1.3, you go down to 1. You go down from 32.5 down to 32. And so the floor of -1.5, it goes down to the next integer, which is -2. Okay, so that's the floor function and it's the sine function. Okay, there's other fun functions too that might be of interest to you that you want to play with. We've got the normal distribution. This is a function from probability. It represents the way that many different properties of natural phenomenon occur, like height of the population, lots of different ways to do that. So that one has this bump. It's got this nice smooth bump. You can change some of these parameters too. You see these parameters. We could make this A and B, and we could put in some parameters, and that's going to either move the bump or make it flatter or higher. So maybe that's a helpful function. It also has inverse trigonometric functions. For example, the arctangent function. It has hyperbolic trigonometric functions like the hyperbolic sine function. And here's a really wacky one. Here is the factorial function. Let me zoom out a little bit. You can see it has all of these different bumps coming from up high down to low and going back, and it bounces up and down. If we plugged in y is equal to, if we found the point 2, 2 factorial, that's a point that's on here. If we put in b, b factorial, then, and we move this point, it's going to move along this curve. And 3 factorial is 6. 4 factorial is 24. And so you can imagine this goes up really, really fast over here. Whoa. Okay. So those are some other functions. And last, you should just take one of those functions and play around with it, one or more of them. Maybe you take 2 of them and you combine them and you find an interesting way that they can work together. So that's this video. See you next time.